Hi, I'm Alan, and I'm joined with Civi to talk about electric vehicles and battery markets. Looking at our thesis, we see strong growth prospects for electric vehicles, driven mostly by increased demand, government activities, and emission regulations, and also rapid growth in the lithium-ion battery market, which is forecast to also grow due to increased demand and production of those same electric vehicles.
Okay, so the electric vehicle market has seen rapid growth in the last decade due to emission regulations and government encouragement of such vehicles. So in the last decade, there's been double-digit growth in sales, and we anticipate more of the same over the next decade due to more people starting looking to purchase electric vehicles and more countries participating in the clean energy drive.
Now looking at the European EV market, we see that in 2020, last year, the market took a lead in electric vehicle sales, surpassing China for the first time in history. And despite only selling around 60,000 more vehicles, this is still considered impressive because they have about half the population of China, make their margins about twice as big. And what exactly caused this jump? Well, it can be broken down into government rebates and tax incentives, for an example. So Germany, France, and the UK have the greatest number of EV sales and also have the largest subsidies in Europe. For example, depending on the type of electric vehicle, Germans can receive up to a 9,000 euro rebate, a discounted VAT tax, and various exemptions from certain yearly taxes associated with the purchase. We also see three main rising auto groups: Volkswagen, Stellantis, and Daimler. And this year, Volkswagen and Peugeot have seen the largest growth. Peugeot, which is a member of the Stellantis group, has become the largest selling EV in France, beating out the Renault, which has seen constant growth for over 10 years. Volkswagen has also seen many successes, with many of their electric models, like their new all-electric SUV, being top sellers on the European markets. And lastly, Daimler, which Mercedes-Benz is a member of, is following through on making many more electric models as demand continues to grow across Europe. And also, interestingly enough, Daimler has partnered with Volkswagen to create a unifying charger and charging stations for electric vehicles.
Along with Europe, China has also been one of the prominent figures in the global EV markets, with the country accounting for 41% of the global EV sales last year, and exponential growth has been recorded in Chinese market since 2010 because of governments reacting to air pollution concerns through the use of regulations and subsidies. So one of the leading brands in China has been the Tesla Model 3, which has been the most successful brand in China for a long time. Although in late 2020, Wuling Hongwang has overtaken Tesla as the most successful Chinese brand or EV brand, with its sales outpacing that of Tesla's in the last 5 months of 2020. And such growth in China is going to be driven by local Chinese EV brands over the next decade. So with the Mercado, Build Your Dream, and Xpeng, such brands should account for about 60% of China's EV sales by 2030, and EV sales in China could triple by 2025, with double-digit annual growth anticipated each year over the next decade. Lithium-ion batteries markets have also been a primary beneficiary of the pent-up demand for EVs over the last decade, with higher production and higher demand for lithium. So there's double-digit growth anticipated over the coming decade in the lithium-ion battery markets. And such growth factors include the use of EV, technological advancements and initiatives. And one of the primary features of this market has been the significantly reduced costs of producing lithium-ion batteries. So that has been a primary factor in benefiting the EV market.
Taking a look at Tenjin AI's electric vehicle portfolio, we noticed a couple of interesting things. Firstly, the portfolio is trading at a 1.15 beta score, a little bit higher than the markets, primarily due to Stellantis, Daimler, and Albemarle having higher than average beta scores, primarily Stellantis, which has a 1.91. And this is because many of these companies did not take dips when the whole market fell in March and April of 2020 from the coronavirus pandemic. Also looking, we have gathered the ratings of Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal analysts, and they all reflect a positive sentiment. This is just a quick rundown of the portfolio. The portfolio is also ordered by the weights of the individual companies. Thank you for listening to our presentation, and hopefully you learned something a bit more about electric vehicles and batteries.